Hi guys, I wanted to take you on a little side project for the fish room here. This is to help me with water changes on the 51 tanks that we're going to have. So if I can do anything to make life easier for myself in the future, I'm going to try and do that. So this brings me to this piece of equipment here, which is a thermostatic water supply valve. So they use these things in elderly people's homes and hospitals, etc., where they don't want to burn anyone. However, you can get them, most of them, the minimum operating temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, but you do get ones that go down all the way to 8 degrees Celsius. So this is one of these units. I'll put a link in the description. It's from Screwfix. I think it was about £35. But as you can see, it's a three-way system. So that's where my thumb is here. This is a cold mains water coming in to the mixer valve. This is the hot side coming in here, this direction. The mixer valve mixes it. You can take this cap off the top here and that sets the temperature inside, and then you end up down below with a mix of your desired temperature of water. So my plan is going to be to install this under my kitchen sink. I'm going to run, you can see I've started doing the copper already. These extra copper bits in the valve has been bits that I've just added onto this. The valve just comes with these three fittings here, and the rest, so from the copper onwards, is the bits that I've done so far. Excuse the soldering joint, it's not the best. I'm not very good at that, but hey ho, it'll work and it'll hold. So yeah, the plan here is this outlet is going to go outside. This is a kitchen sink here. Excuse the mess in here, this barely ever sees the light of day. But this is my main house supply coming in here, and then these two flexes here come up to the main kitchen sink. So what I'm going to do is, I've already installed a valve here, so this is going to connect to the cold water supply on this valve here. So that'll go in that way. Let's see if I can get it all lined up on the camera. There, that way. Sorry, no, that way. So that's going to go in that way. What I'm going to do is take a T off this hot water supply pipe here and run that into the hot water, and then I'm going to drill a hole on the outside of the house, just where this wastewater pipe is here. I'm going to take a line out, and then I'm going to run that to the new fish room, and basically I'm going to be left with an outside valve, like a normal garden tap valve, and from there I'll have the correct temperature. Obviously I'm going to insulate all the lines going outside, so I'll have a good temperature for running water changes into all the tanks. So I'll start getting this installed, and I'll be back soon with an update once a bit more progress. Morning folks, it's the following day, and as you can see we're under the sink. This is where I spent most of my day yesterday, unfortunately. Not the best place to be spending your day, however, needs must. So yesterday didn't go to plan at all. In fact, it was a bit of a disaster. So the thermostatic mixer valve that I showed you yesterday from Screwfix just didn't quite cut it, unfortunately. I did successfully get it all installed. However, when I came to test the outlet temperature, it didn't go past 30 degrees. Should I say, it didn't go down past 30 degrees. So 30 degrees was the minimum that I could get out there in terms of temperature, which obviously isn't what I need for the fish room. I need water coming out between 20 and 24 degrees for water changes, depending on what tanks I'm doing. So yesterday left me in a bit of a dilemma, because I had the mains water here to the house. That was all isolated, so I could carry out plumbing work. because there was actually yesterday no isolation valves installed in this bit. So as you can see, I've installed them all now. So what I've ended up doing, just as an absolute interim, because I had to do something because my plumbing was in bits, I removed the TCV because, like I say, it was no good. And what I've done instead is I've taken from the cold, so this is a cold water feed here, that's the supply coming in from the back here. There's now a newly installed isolation valve, and then a one-way non-return valve there, and then basically I've got the same, this is the hot water side of the plumbing here, and this comes down through isolation valve, and then again another non-return valve. And you see there I've marked on the pipe work there the direction of flow, and then this comes out to a further isolation valve, and then that heads on out through the wall, which is then going to be routed to the fish room. So I did a quick test. It was late at night last night, about 6-7 o'clock in the evening. It was getting dark, or it was dark even, but I was out there with a thermometer, and I can actually manually set these valves to give me a desired temperature out there, but not ideal, because what happens during winter is your actual your cold water mains temperature will vary in the winter, and then vary again obviously in the summer as it warms up. So what I'm going to have to end up doing is constantly coming in and adjusting these two valves, which, if you think about it, really is no different from what I was doing with the Python system, but that was all obviously a lot more accessible and easy because it was above the sink on the tap itself. So I've actually probably made things worse for myself for the time being, but as I'm saying, I am going to go away now and research something that I can get fitted into this side that'll control the temperature better. So yeah, it just shows things don't go to plan. Sometimes we have to adapt our original thoughts, but we'll get there. Just on a side note, if there is any plumbers or any heating engineers or whatnot watching this video that has any bright ideas for how, basically what I want coming out this line here is controllable low temperature water at about 20 to, like I say, something that I can set at 20 to 25 degrees. But it's important that it maintains that temperature. So yeah, that's where we are now. What I'm going away to work on now is the outside part of this. This line here is basically going to end up at an outside tap, and then I'll be able to run a hose from that outside tap in through the window to the fish room to help me with the water changes. So all good ideas, however it didn't quite go to plan yesterday, so we'll get on with the outside bit today, and I'll update you if I find anything and make any more changes to this, which is, like I say, is going to be more than likely and on the horizon. So guys, this is the outlet coming out the wall. I've covered it all in insulation now, but basically the pipe runs along the house here. I've still got to install a clamp because I want it neat under the door there, so it's right up and under, so I'll get a clamp installed, and then it comes up here to the outdoor tap, where you can see it's got a hose connected to it already. Now this is the fish room window, you can see all the racks in there over the reflection, so it'll be dead handy for coming in and attaching a clear bit of pipe work like this to do our tank top offs. So I did, with the help of my wife, I did do a quick test with this, and I'm going to show you it right now. So I'll turn this tap on, and I'm hoping I can show you this all on the video, if I can get it all on so there's the water running out there. Let's get the temperature probe up inside. It's hard doing this with one hand, guys. Oh, it's not going to stay in there. Right, let me see if I can do this. Right, there we go. Now, if the test works the same as when myself and my wife were doing it, it should steady out at about 23 point something. Yeah, there we go. So I was aiming for 24 with my wife. She was out here with a thermometer in the end of the pipe, and I was adjusting inside. So you can see we're pretty bang on there. Seems to be pretty steady at 24 degrees, and that's just using that 2 mixer valves. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now, like I said, in the kitchen, we're going to have to readjust that as the seasons change and the ambient temperature of the cold water changes. But all in all, seems to be alright. Mind you, it's sneaking up a little bit there and coming back down. So yeah, we'll call that good for now. Something I will keep an eye on for the first few times while doing water changes, but all good. The other thing I wanted to point out quickly was when I'm done with this line here, I've got an isolation valve in the kitchen, if you remember. What I've installed here is a little drain off valve. Obviously it's not going to drain down right now because it's got main supply going to it, but when I'm finished with it and I isolate the water back in the kitchen, I'm going to drain that down because that stops any Legionella growth, because obviously if you've only got air in that line, then you don't have any medium for the Legionella bacteria to grow and flourish in. So that's the idea there. I've installed a low point just to get rid of that. And obviously, like I said, in the kitchen we've got the NRVs to stop anything going back the way to our drinking water. So all in all, coming together, looking good, and that's it for this one. Thanks. Hi again, guys. I just wanted to finish this update video with a little hack that I've been carrying out to my sponge filters for a few years now. I did see it on YouTube. I think it was KG Tropicals that I seen it on, so I'm not going to take the credit for the idea. However, if you do have sponge filters, it's quite a good idea. I really liked it, and like I say, I've been using it, so it's tried and tested here in my fish room as well. And basically, so you get your sponge filters, and these are pretty cheap. I bought all these on Temu, and they do up to a 70 litre aquarium, and as you can see, they're quite small. Now, when you plug in your air, I don't know if the camera's going to zoom on that, but when you plug in your air to that, you end up with quite a lot of glugging from the air, and one of the things that I do is I take the filter apart when I first get it, and if I take this bit off, you can see what I install there is a simple air stone. Now you do have to unfortunately break a bit of the bottom to get this all in. However, what that air stone does once it clips in is it makes the air bubbles a lot smaller and less obtrusive. So when the filter's running, you don't get that same glugging sound from the air or the tank. And what it also actually does, an interesting thing, is actually the smaller the air bubbles are, the more lift it produces, so it actually improves the efficiency of your filter as well as making it quieter. So a win-win in my book. And what I'll do quickly is take you around and show you this in action in the 450 litre, because I've actually installed one of these in the 450 litre just to get it cycling ready for a breeding project that I've got underway. So I'll quickly just head over to the fish room and show you that. Hi guys, just to show you the sponge filter in action with the modification done and the air stone installed. You can see there it's really fine bubbles coming out that filter now. If I move up, I've opened the lid of the tank actually, and you can see and hear that there's next to no sound coming out of that. In fact, the canister filter is making more noise than the sponge filter itself, so you can see it's really a good modification. So yeah, something worth considering for your filters at home, guys. Hi guys, just a little update on the racking and the power that I've been installing over the last couple of days. So as I said in the last video, it was quite important to me that I could keep everything on the actual racks themselves. I didn't want junction boxes etc on the wall, so that is why I've installed everything on the rack itself. And like I say, I wanted to be able to pull the rack away from the wall and remove it if required. So basically what I've got here, this is one of the smaller racks. Everything's pretty much the same on all racks, but I just thought I'd pull this one out, one of the lighter, easier ones to pull out to show you. But you can imagine it's the exact same on the bigger one as well. But basically what we have here is one single plug coming into the wall. That then comes up to an extension, and we have further extensions basically daisy chained on each rack, which provides power through a smart switch, a smart plug should I say, to the lights. So I can control this whole room now via an app. This is the little Wago junction box I used for all the lights. They're all coming into that one junction box together. So each rack can be turned on individually or as a group within the whole room. So you can see here all these spare plugs are ready for all the heaters that are coming into the tanks. Like I say, you know, I'm not too fussed or worried about the actual power requirements. They're going to be super low wattage, and all these power bars are more than adequately rated for the power that they're going to be drawing. Even the first one there, that's basically going to be taking the full power of the whole rack from all these individual ones. So yeah, it's all looking all right. It doesn't look as neat from the back side here, but obviously once the rack is pushed in against the wall, you don't see any of this rat's nest of wiring from the front. Another thing that I've been doing is installing the little ZIS valves to the main manifold. They've gone in actually really well. I found the right size drill bit for them, and then all I did was they actually pushed in really tight, but what I did was just put a tiny little drop of super glue in with them just to keep them from popping out. I did install the air pump as well, and I've tried. In fact, I can show you while we're on. This is the big rack now. All you can see the big light bar on the top there. It's looking really good. and loads of light being thrown off from these lights. I've not installed the ZIS valves here quite yet. That is on my to-do list today. And these floating lights, they're just suspended with a bit of £50 monofilament fishing line. I'm right into my fishing as well, so you can see I've robbed one of my fishing reels for the line just to hold these. Like I said in the last video, these lights are so lightweight. It's unbelievable actually how light they are. So really good, and I'm amazed by the quality of them. And there's a great example of where they just hook together with that little T-piece joiner that I showed you in the last video. Now these ones are just singles, so they're just wired directly in, and just as you can see they're just cable tied just to keep them in place there. The other thing I've successfully done is install a shelf for the air pump. You can see as well, if I just squeeze around here to get a good shot of it, you can see there that that's now hooked in to the main manifold. I have put a bit of foam, that one's sticking up a little bit there, but I've put a little bit of foam on the floor of the shelf. Now I was speaking to Tim's actually got this pump, and he was saying, or he was suggesting that I didn't cover it because I was round at Tim's fish room the other day and I was feeling the top of this pump, and actually when it's running it does get quite warm. So I'm going to trial this pump without any cover over it. I think once all the sponge filters are going, we'll probably get a little bit of background noise from them, and it might be enough to drown out that pump, but I'll just switch it on now and you'll be able to hear it. It is quite intrusive. So you can hear that going. Yeah, I don't know. What I'm thinking maybe is potentially what I could do is put a screen here, like a three-way screen, so it's open at the back and the top, and that might just be enough to deflect that noise back into the corner of the room. We'll see. So yeah, that's that one. So yeah, everything's coming together. I've got to get the ZIS valves installed on this rack here. This middle rack, I don't have enough parts to do that just now. I need to order new lights and stuff, so I'll get them ordered, but this one is going to be the last rack to be completed. This one, you can see the light floating away there. I'll tidy that cable up, but yeah, that's it. When it's in against the wall, you can't see any of the cabling, and remember as well, when the tanks go in, you're going to be able to see even less of that pipe work there. So it's all starting to look good. On another update, the tanks unfortunately have been a week delayed, so they are coming next weekend now. I've not been given an update yet on the exact day that they're arriving, but we'll be sure to video that once they arrive and once we start getting tanks in place. But yeah, it's all looking good, starting to get there. You want to see this room at night with all the lights. I mean, it's the amount of light that this room throws out now with all these lights installed is ridiculous. So I'm thinking probably I'm not going to be using these lights an awful lot, because like I say, I'm not going to have a lot of plants. All the tanks are for breeding projects, so these lights will probably be on for display only, and I'll probably put them only on for maybe an hour or two through the day, because as you can see, this room gets plenty of light. This is south facing this, so this room's going to get plenty of light anyway. So guys, I'll pick you up on the next video. Thanks again for watching. Any cool suggestions or whatnot, please leave a comment, and obviously myself and Tim would both appreciate if you like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a lot. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.